Hello guys, welcome to Learn Maths with Mafeng. So today we are going to be answering the remaining part of the questions in that's WAEC 2024, talking about question 10, 11, 12, and 13. So we have videos already for question 1 to 5 and as well as for question 6 to 9. So feel free to check out my video on that. And then again, when you check the description, you are going to see a link that will enable you to download the WAEC 2024 questions so that you can follow along even as I solve. So looking at question 10, so we're going to be solving question 10. Now it says in a man's will. Now looking at it, this is actually a word problem question. So I usually tell students that whenever you're solving word problem question, ensure that you read the question gradually and then you process it mathematically. Now instead of reading the entire question and then at the end of the day you want the answer to pop up. No, that will not work. So as you read, you process. As you read, you process. Say, so in a man's will, he gave 2/5 of the total acres of his cocoa farm to the wife. Now 2/5, that's the fraction. So it means if he gave a fraction, then what is the fraction of the whole? So I'm going to say fraction of whole, what do you call it now? Acres. That will be 1. And then the question says he gave 2/5 to the wife. That's to say he gave 2/5 of the total acres of his cocoa farm to the wife. And then 1/3 of what is left. So you can see of what is left. So we have to find what is left when he gave 2/5. So I'm going to say fraction left. That will be 1 minus 2/5. And this will be 5 minus 2/5. That gives us 3/5. That's to say 5 times 1 is 5 minus 2 all over 5. And I have 3/5. So this is exactly the fraction that is left. So the fraction given to the family is 1/3 of what is left, which is 3/5. And this 3 here, 1, 3 here, 1, that gives us 1/5. So it means he gave 2/5 to the wife and then 1/5 to the family. Now the question went further to say the rest of the farm was to be shared among his 3 children. So let's see what is left. The rest, fraction of rest, I think I'm put that the rest will now be 1 minus in bracket the fraction given to the wife plus the fraction given to the family. And this is 1 minus, and of course this gives 3/5, and then we are going to be having 2/5. That's to say, okay, let me take it gradually. 5 times 1, that's 5 minus 3/5, and that gives 2/5. So it means that when he gave 2/5 to the wife, 1/5 to the family, the fraction left, that's the rest, is 2/5. Now, this is exactly what is going to be shared among his 3 children. So I can call that ratio A, ratio B, ratio C. That's say the 3 children, A, B, C, are going to share this in ratio 3:5 to 2. 3:5 to 2. Another vital information was given to us. Say, given that the child who had the least share received 8 acres. So looking at this, of course, the least share is 2. So I'm going to say C's share was 8 acres. C share was 8 acres. That is what the question is saying. So calculate the total acres the man left. Calculate the total acres the man left. Now, looking at this now, since I have the ratio for the smallest share as well as the quantity for the smallest share, I can be able to use that to find the acres of land given to the children to share. How can I do that? First, I'm going to find the total ratio. So I'm going to say total ratio for the children, that's 3 plus 5 plus 2, and that gives me 10. Now, listen to this. Now, there's a trick, and it works. And that's since we have the ratio for the smallest share as well as the quantity for the smallest share, we can use that to find the quantity for the others. And we can as well use that to find the total quantity given to these 3. What am I simply trying to say? We have the ratio for the smallest share, we have the quantity for the smallest share. We can use that to find the shares of the others, that's for A and for B if we want to, and we can as well use that to find the total quantity given to these 3 children. Now, how can we do that? So we can say that I'm going to say total acres given to children, Now, that will be, what is the total ratio? That is 10 over the ratio for the smallest share, which is 2, of what? The quantity of the smallest share, which is 8 acres. So 2 year 1, 2 year 4, and that gives us 40 acres. And that's to say 40 acres was given to the children to share. Now, the question says we should calculate the total acres the man left. Now, we are going to, there's another trick again that says, okay, fine. We know that the fraction of the whole acres is 1, and we can see that the fraction given to the children to share is 2 over 5. So here I can say let the total acres the man left behind, or I can say let the whole acres of the man be X. Now, if the whole acres of the man is X, we can be able to find that using this information. Now, look at it. 2 over 5, that's to say the fraction given to the children to share, 2 over 5, we have discovered that it is equivalent to what? 40 acres. Now, 2 over 5 is the fraction, 40 acres is the quantity. 2 over 5 is the fraction, 40 acres is the quantity. Now, what is the fraction of whole? The fraction of whole is 1. The fraction of whole is 1. And what will be the quantity of whole, which we say x here? So in this case, to find the value of x, I'm going to say 1 divided by 2 over 5 times 1 divided by this times 40 acres. Now, this is a trick and it works. So now this is same as saying 5 over 2. It swaps, 5 goes, and then times 40 acres. And so I have 2 here 1, 2 here 20, 5 times 20, and that gives 100 acres. So it means the total acres, so X, which is the total acres that the man left behind is 100 acres. Now, the second part of the question, this is the first part of the question. The second part of the question says, we should calculate the number of acres the wife received. Now, what is the fraction the wife received? So wife's acres. So that will be, she received 2 over 5. 2 over 5 of what? Of the total acres, which is 100 acres. So 5 here 1, 5 here 20, and that gives us 40 acres. So that ends the solution. Yes, that ends the solution for that. I believe you understand the trick I was able to use to solve this question. Now, mind you, don't forget, in WAEC, it is expected that you write your fraction this way. For most students, you see them writing fraction this way. It is not advisable to use this. So preferably, you can write your fractions this way. All right, so we go to the B part of the question. The B part, this is the A part of the question. So we take the B part of the question next. Now the B part of the question says, the list price of a television set is 1,600. Now here, and as you say again, you take the question gradually. So we say the list price. So they were told that the list price, this is 10B, the list price is $1,600. Now, it can be purchased by a deposit of $400 and the rest of the amount paid by 12 monthly installments. Now, you can make a deposit. If you want to purchase this television, you can make a deposit of $400 first. Then after that, you are going to split what is remaining. And that amount that will be remaining is going to be paid 12, that's 12 monthly installments. and it is going to be at a 25% per annum simple interest. So since we have this, so I'm going to say first deposit. First deposit. First deposit, that's $400. So what will remain? Remainder will now be, that is 1,600 minus 400, and that will give us 1,200. So 1,200 is going to be left. So after I deposited $400, what will be left will be $1,200 to pay. Now, this $1,200 to pay, I'm giving the provision to pay it in 12 installments. In 12 installments, but it is going to be at a simple interest. So I have to find what is going to be the simple interest. The simple interest, that's PRT over 100. Now the P is going to be this amount, so that's 1,200 times the R, which is 25%, then times T, which is going to be 12 months. Now, remember, simple interest, the time is always expressed in years. So for me to express this 12 months in years, this will be same as saying 1 year, because 12 months, and that's because 12 months equal 1 year, and that will be 1 over 100. So I have this goes with this, and so I have 12 times 25. That's 12 times 25. That gives me $300. Now, this is the interest. This is the interest that this amount will accrue. So what is the amount that the person is going to pay at the end? That is after the total. Now listen, this is the amount remaining when you make the first deposit of $400. Now this grows or generates an interest of $300, which is supposed to be added here. So I'm going to say amount left to be paid. Amount left to be paid will now be what is remaining after the first deposit plus the interest it will accrue in that 12 months, and that will give 1,500. 1,500. So the question now says that if the television set is purchased by installment, find the total cost. It says if the television set is purchased by installment, find the total cost. Now, going back to the previous statement, say it can be purchased by a deposit of $400 and the rest of the amount paid by 12 monthly installments at 25% per annum simple interest. So in the next 12 months, this is exactly what the total amount will be. I haven't paid the first, then this which is left will generate and become this amount due to the percentage interest that was put. So what is it? I say if the television set is purchased by installment, find the total cost. So total cost is going to be what? We can see that the total cost is going to be the first installment, then plus, the first deposit, plus what this amount will generate together with the interest. And that will be 1,500. So that will give a total of 1,900. Now, in WAEC, it is expected that you put 0.00. It is advisable you put that. If you don't have this, a mark, you are going to lose a mark here. So don't forget, monies usually are written in 2 decimal places. So that ends question 10. So we move to solve question 11. Now question 11 says, find the equation of the line that passes through the origin and the point of intersection of the lines x plus 2y equal to 7 and x minus y equal to 4. So we are having two straight line or linear equations here, which you have x plus, this question 11, x plus 2y equal to 7, and then we have x minus y equal to 4. This is question 1, this is question 2. So we are going to solve simultaneously to find, because the question says find the equation of the line that passes through the origin. The origin is the 0, that is to say the 0, 0 mark, and then the point of intersection is where these two equations have same solution. So it means we have to solve it simultaneously. Now, summing this simultaneously, I can subtract equation 1 minus equation 2. Since they are all having this, I want to eliminate x, and they are having the same coefficient. So I can quickly go that x minus x, this x minus x, that goes 2y minus y, that gives me plus. So 2y plus y, that gives me 3y. Then 7 minus 4, that gives me 3, right? Yes, 7 minus 4, that gives 3. So what I'm going to have here is going to be y, which is equal to 3 over 3, and that gives me 1. Now substituting y equal to 1 in equation 2. So I'm going to have x minus 1 equal to 4, and so x will be 4 plus 1. That makes x to be 5. So don't forget, it says that passes through the origin. So I'm going to say origin is 0, 0, and then the point of intersection. The point of intersection is the value of x is 5, the value of y is 1. Now, it passes through the origin and the point of intersection. So now it says we should find the equation of the line. Now, to find the equation of the line, there's a formula for that, and that's y minus y1 over y2 minus y1 equal to x minus x1 over x2 minus x1. So of course this is our x1 y1, and then this is our x2 y2. So that's what I'm going to fix in here to say, okay, I have y minus y1, and my y1 is 0. So y minus 0 over y2 minus y1. y2 is 1, as 1 minus 0 equal to, I have x minus x1, x1 is 0, that's x minus 0 over x2, which is 5, minus x1, which is 0, 5 minus 0, and that's y, which is equal to x over 5. And that is the equation of the line that passes through the origin and the point of intersection. Quite a simple question, right? Yes. So we are going to go into the next part. That's the B part of question 11. The B part of question 11. We have that the ratio of an interior angle to an exterior angle of a regular polygon is 4:1. That is 11B. So I'm going to say the ratio of the interior, I'm going to call this the interior ratio, the exterior, which is going to be 4:1. So usually in word problem question, you take the question gradually. So find the number of sides. Now, since the interior angle ratio, the exterior angle is 4:1. So we are asked to find the number of sides. Now, it will interest you to know that when you add up the interior angle and the exterior angle, they are supplementary. What am I trying to say? That for all polygons, most especially we are having this case here, we're having a regular polygon, not just for all polygons, sorry, but for all regular polygons. Now, for regular polygons, we see that when you add up the interior and you add up the exterior, it must give you a total of 180. Don't forget, for regular polygon. And the question says the ratio of an interior angle to an exterior angle of a regular polygon. So I'm going to say I plus E will give me 180 degrees. So in that case, we can decide to say, okay, fine. Let us find the exterior angle. I would prefer to take the exterior angle to say, okay, this is the exterior angle. So I'm going to say total ratio, which is 1 plus 4, and that gives 5, isn't it? Now, to find the exterior angle, so the exterior angle, that will be the ratio of the exterior angle divided by the total ratio of what? The total angle we're talking about. 5 here, 1, 5 goes here. This will give 3, and then we're going to level 30, and that's 36, and so this will give me 36 degrees. So each of the what do you call it now, exterior angles is 36 degrees. Now, another theorem said something. It says when you sum up all the exterior angles, it must be equal to 360 degrees. When you sum up all the exterior angles, it must be equal to 360 degrees. So what am I simply trying to say? I'm trying to say that if this is the exterior angle, let n be the number of sides of the polygon. So since it is a regular polygon and all the exterior angles are the same, that means if I multiply the number of sides with each exterior angle, it should give me 360 degrees. Remember I said, like, okay, let's say if we're having 5 sides, that will be 36 degrees plus 36 degrees plus 36 degrees 5 times. So in this case, I can just say 5 times 36. So that's why I'm saying the number of sides times this. So n becomes 360 degrees divided by 36 degrees, and that gives you 10. Yes, so the number of sides is 10. So that answered the first part. So I'm going to say number of sides is 10, right? So we're going to take the B part, or the second, the II part, value of the exterior angle. Oh, I think we've gotten that already. The value of the exterior angle, which is 36, and then the sum of the interior angles of the polygon. The sum of the interior angles of the polygon. Since it's having 10 sides, the formula says, so I guess I'm going to have this as the third one because the second part have been calculated. This method that I use have to calculate the the exterior angle before that. So now to calculate the sum of the interior angles, is having 10 sides. So the sum will be what? N minus 2 times 180 degrees. N is 10, 10 minus 2 times 180 degrees. And that gives us, that is 8 times 180 degrees, right? Okay, there are two formulas for this. You can as well make use of 2n minus 4 times 90 degrees. You can as well use that too, but I'll prefer to use this now. So 8 times 180, that gives us 1,440 degrees. So that ends that question for that. So I hope you understand. So we are going to take question 12. Question 12, okay? We have it ending question 12. Which is 13. So we have question 12. Now looking at this, we are having a circle here. Okay, now let me drag it a little bit to this other side to be able to draw that properly. So let's say we have this, let me draw it a bit smaller, and then we have a tangent here, and then we have this here, and then here, and then here we have 56 degrees, and then here, and then it goes like this. We have here to be 109 degrees. So this is T, this is S, this is O, this is V, this is Q, this is R, and this is P. So now here in this question, we have in the diagram. So as I said again, you can check the description below. You are going to see a link that enables you to download this question, the PDF of this question. So in the diagram, PR is a tangent. This is a tangent to the circle at O. Oh, sorry, to the circle centered at O to the circle center O at Q. So it's a tangent to this circle at Q. Now it says that angle POQ is 56 degrees. So we can see that angle POQ, this angle here is 56 degrees. And angle line PO, intersect line PO intersect line SQ at V. So we can see that here, such that angle SVP is equal to 109 degrees. So we should calculate TQP. That is angle TQP. This angle over here is what we are going to calculate. So as usual, I will tell students that, okay, if you have issues with writing all this, you can just simply say angle TQP is equal to X. So I'm going to call this one X. So when I call angle TQP equal to X, Now you can see this that explore through the diagram to see some interesting thing about this diagram. You see that there's a theorem that says that the angle made by this chord here, the angle made by this chord with the tangent is equal to the angle is subtend in the opposite alternate segment. So you can see this is the chord, it makes the angle with the tangent, and it also subtend an angle in here. So I can simply say that this angle as well is equal to x based on that theorem. So how can I state that? I can simply say that TQP, right? That is angle TQP is also equal to angle TSQ, which is equal to x. Now, if this is x, now you can still see this chord subtend angle at the center and also subtend this part. So there's a theorem that says the angle at the center subtended by a chord at the center is twice that is subtend on the remaining part of the circumference. So that simply means that I can say TSQ, which is x, so I'm going to say x, 2x is equal to 56 degrees rather. That's the angle at the center is twice this. So that makes x to be 56 degrees divided by 2, and that gives 28 degrees. So I have 28 degrees. So angle TQP. Now TQP, which we said is x, we can see here that we have gotten the value of x. So I can say TQP is equal to 28 degrees. And that's because, or rather I can say it's equal to x, which is equal to 28 degrees. So that solves the first part of the question. Then the second part of the question, it says we should find angle QTS. That's angle QTS. Where's angle QTS? QTS. That's this angle here. We have to find this angle here, QTS. Now you can see this angle is divided into two. So to simplify it, I can decide to call this place Y, and I can decide to call this place Z. Now, when I call this place Y, I'll need to find Y and to find Z, and then that ends the solution. Now, to find Y, you can see that OT and OQ are radius, or they are radii, sorry. OT and OQ are radii, so, and they are equal, right? So if they are equal, this tells me that TOQ is an isosceles triangle. So I can say triangle TOQ is isosceles. And if it is isosceles, the base angle, that's this angle and this angle, the base angles of isosceles are equal. So I can call this place Y. Now, since I have that already, to identify that, because either I draw the diagram for the examiner to see, or I can decide to specify by saying OTQ is equal to OQT, which is equal to Y. And if that's the case, so I can say Y plus 56 degrees, that gives 180 degrees. That gives 180 degrees. Since I have that, this is 2Y plus 56 degrees, that gives 180 degrees. And so 2Y is equal to 180 degrees minus 56 degrees. 2y is going to give me 124. And so y will be 124 degrees divided by 2. That gives me 62 degrees. So I have the value of y to be 62 degrees. So this angle here is 62. Now, since this is 62, I'm left to find z. But don't forget, I found the value of x before, which is 28. I think I can be able to find z. So I'm going to say from triangle TSV, that's from this triangle TSV, I have x plus z plus 109 degrees equal to 180 degrees. What's the value of x, which is 28 degrees, plus z plus 109 degrees, and that gives me 180. So z will be 180 minus 109 plus this, and that should give me 137. That's 137. So when I subtract that, 180 minus 137, that should give me 43, I guess. So that's 43 degrees. So I've gotten the value of z to be 43 degrees, the value of y to be 62 degrees. So I'm going to say STQ, which is what I'm looking for, or QTS, which is x plus z. X is, sorry, not x, that is y plus z. So y, which is 62 degrees, plus z, which is 43 degrees, that gives 105 degrees. So that's it. That ends the solution for that. And then finally, that is question 12b. Question 12b, which we have. Now, question 12b, we're told that simplify. We have 2n, that's 12b, 2n squared minus 3n minus 2 all over 2n squared plus 3n plus 1 times n squared minus 1 over n squared minus 4. Oh, that's not finally. We still have question 13 over here. Now, looking at this, we see that we have something like this. So I have to check if this is, what do you call it now? If it is factorizable. Now, to do that, I know that I'm going to take this times this, and that will be 2n squared times minus 2. That gives me minus 4n squared. So what are the factors of 4? 4 specifically. That's 1 and 4. I have 2 and 2, right? Yes. I have 1 and 4, and I have 2 and 2. Now, looking at this, which of them, when I combine them, will help me get 3? Obviously, that's 4 and 1 and 4. How? And that is to say, and minus 3 is what I'm focusing on. That's minus 4 and 1. Since it's minus 4 and 1, I think I can represent this as minus 4. So minus 4 and 1, minus 4 plus 1 gives me minus 3. So I can just put that minus 4n and n. So minus 4n plus n gives me minus 3n. So instead of putting this, I'm going to put that. So I'm going to say 2n squared minus 4n plus n minus 2 all over. That's for this. Then how about for this one now? For this one, same thing. I'm going to say 2n squared times 1. That's 2n squared times 1. That gives me 2n squared. So what are the factors of 2? 1 and 2. So how will I combine that to give me this? This is the only factor I have. That will be 2 plus 1. That's positive 2 and positive 1. So I can say 2n plus n. So instead of putting 3n, I'm going to put 2n plus n. So that will be 2n squared plus 2n plus n plus 1. And this is times n squared minus 1 over n squared minus 4. Now I'm going to factorize this. That's 2n into n minus 4. Sorry, that's n minus 2 for the first part, and then plus 1 into n minus 2 all over. For this one now, 2n into n plus 1, then plus 1 into n plus 1, and this will be times n squared minus 1 over n squared minus 4. So looking at this, I can say this is n to 2, and that will 2n plus 1 all over. This will be n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 times n squared minus 1 over n squared minus 4. Now looking at this, I think this and this goes, and then we are going to be left with, now this is also a perfect square. Sorry, what do you call it now? You call it differences of two squares. Yes, that's difference of two squares. So I can have n minus 2 over n plus 1 times, now what I mean by difference of two squares is it, if we have something like this, that is a, how do I put it now? That's a squared minus b squared. This is same as saying a plus b into a minus b. Now, once we expand this, so you can see, first, what are the conditions? What we are having here, the base here must be a perfect square. That is entirely what we have here must be a perfect square. Perfect square. So this is a perfect square of what? Of A. This is a perfect square of what? Of B. So you can see that is exactly what we have here. So this is a perfect square of what? N. And this is a perfect square of 1. So I can say n minus 1 into n plus 1 all over. This is a perfect square of n. is a perfect square of 2. And then the condition was that it must have a minus, please. It must have a minus. This does not work. It doesn't work. So you can't say this a plus b, a minus b. Nope, it doesn't work. So for this, it must be minus. So I have minus 2n plus 2. So you can see that also I can say this goes with this, and this goes with this entirely, and I'm left with n minus 1 over n plus 2. That is what I have at the end of the day. So I have simplified that already. I guess you understand that part. So we're going to take the question 13. Question 13. We have that it is, okay, we have this diagram over there. So let me draw the diagram. Okay. Oops. I have this, that, so I have, this is here, and then I have something that comes from here. It goes, connect to this, and then I have this, then I have this. So this is 60 degrees, this is 44 degrees, and this is A, this is B, this is C, this is Q, this is T, and this is P. Now looking at this question, it says in the diagram, ABT, ABT is a circle center O. Now PQ is a tangent. Of course, we can see that to the circle at T. And then ABC is a straight line. ABC is a straight line. You can see that. TC intersect or bisect angle BTQ. That is TC bisect angle BTQ. So, of course, I can say that this and this are equal. So maybe if I call this X, this will also be X. That is what the question says. TC bisect angle BTQ. Now, angle BAT is 44 degrees, and angle PTA is 60 degrees. So find angle ACT, that is ACT. Now you can see triangle ACT already. We have 44 here, and we're left with, we have to find this angle. This is what we are looking for. Now, since we are looking for that, I would like you to know that the theorem says that the angle that this chord makes with the tangent here is equal to this, right? So this angle here is equal to, so I can say 44 is equal to the sum of the whole of this. That is one thing I need to know also about this diagram. Another thing again is this angle is equal to this. So I can call this place Y, isn't it? So I can say that angle ABT, which is equal to Y, is equal to 60 degrees. Yes, that's true. So this is 60 degrees. And then I can now say, and that will help me find this angle actually. When I find this angle, I'm going to add it up with this, and then together with this angle in the triangle to be able to find this angle. So to do that, I'm going to find this angle here, which I'm going to call small letter q. Sometimes you need this. You have to put letters there to help you, solve it properly. So here I can say from triangle ABT, I have already established that angle ATB is equal to Q. So I can say Q plus 44 degrees plus Y is equal to 180 degrees. Now Q plus 44 degrees plus Y, which is 60 degrees, and that's 180 degrees. So Q is equal to 180 degrees minus 104 degrees, making Q to be 76 degrees. So this is 76 degrees. And then I said earlier on that angle BTQ is equal to angle BAT. So I can say angle BTQ is equal to angle BAT, which is equal to 44 degrees. But angle BTQ is 2x. 2x is equal to 44 degrees, making x to be 44 degrees divided by 2, and that gives me 22 degrees. So I have this, so you can see that I can say angle CTA or ATC, whichever way, ATC, which is equal to x plus q, and this is 22 degrees plus q, which is 76 degrees. So 76 degrees, that gives that should give us 98 degrees. So this entire angle here is 98 degrees, and that's if this is 98 degrees, I'm going to use this angle plus the whole of this plus this, that's angle on a straight line. In other words, I'm saying from triangle ACT, this triangle, I can call this angle here, maybe I should call it R. So I'm going to say angle ACT is equal to R. So I'm going to say R plus 44 degrees plus the whole of this, which is 98 degrees, equal to 180 degrees. So R will be 180 degrees minus. So when I add this, 98 plus 44, this is 2, 1, and this is 14. So that's 142 degrees, making 180 minus 142 degrees to be 38. That's true. That's 38 degrees. So that solves the angle. So I'm going to say angle ACT is equal to, whichever way you can use this, you can use with the cap there, and that's 38 degrees. Now, the last question, which is, it says that, I guess you understand that. That's quite easy. All right. So making use of the theorem helps a lot. So you have to have very good knowledge of the theorem to be able to solve all this question. And then lastly, we have that is question 13b. Okay, we have that the circumference of the base of a cylindrical tank is 11 meters. The circumference of the base of a cylindrical tank is 11 meters. Now, I usually advise students that whenever you see a question like this that demand diagram, it's good you put the diagram there. Because the examiner will have to see the diagram before before marking, considering. So the circumference of the base of a cylindrical tank. So I can have a cylindrical tank like this. Now the circumference of the base is 11 meters. This is the circumference, so I'm going to say circumference, which is 11 meters. Now don't forget circumference is 2 pi r, which is 11 meters. So from here to here is r. Now, it says that the height of the tank is 3 meters, more than 6 times the base radius. So I guess from here I can be able to calculate the radius, and we're told to take pi as 22 over 7. So I can say r is equal to 11 over, or better still, to make it easier, 2 times 22 over 7 times r, which is equal to 11. And so this will give me 44 over 7r equal to 11. And so r will be 11 times 7 over 44. 11 here 1, 11 here 4, that gives me 7 over 4, right? And 7 over 4, okay, fine. Let me just leave it that way to say this is 7 over 4 meters. Okay, I was told to calculate the radius first. So if I'm told to calculate the radius, I guess I won't have to leave it this way. I'm going to say this is 7 divided by 4, and that should give 1 point. 7 divided by 4, and that should give 1.75 meters. So I think that's the first part of the question that we've solved. And the second part, it says the height. Now, let's go back to the question. It says that the height of the tank is 3 more than 6 times the base. So what is the height? The height is 3 more times 6 times the base. So 6r plus 3. That is what the height is. It's 6r plus 3. 6 times, that's 3 meters more than 6 times the base. So 6 times, sorry, the base radius. 6 times the base radius. So height, which is equal to 6r plus 3, that's 6 into, I think I can use this, or rather 1.75 plus 3. So what is going to be the height now? This is times 6, then plus 3, and that gives me 13.5 meters. You don't forget to put your units. You have to put your units always there. And then the volume of the tank. So what would be the volume of the tank? Volume, the formula for the volume is the base radius, the area of the base times the height. What's the area of the base? Pi r squared times the height, which is h. And again, we're going to be using 22 over 7 times the radius, which is 1.75 square times the height, which is 13.5. And when we do the math there, we have 22 times 1.75 square and then times 13, that's 13.5. And that gives us what we have there, divided by, you can take it gradually if you wish, 909.5625 divided by 7. And then that gives, divided by 7, that gives 129.9375 meter square. It has to be meter square. I'm checking to be sure that the units are intact. That's meter square. And they said calculate the volume of the tank. So they didn't say to either two decimal places, so I think I can leave the answer there. So this finally ends the 2024 Maths WAEC question. So I believe that you enjoy the time. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I'm going to be uploading more videos for that of NACO and other exams too. And I believe it's going to be very exciting. Thank you. Bye-bye.